Welcome to Ceiling Tiles UK Suspended Ceiling Installation Guide. Before you start, please ensure you have received a ceiling construction plan from Ceiling Tiles UK, or alternatively, watch our separate suspended ceiling planning video. Firstly, decide the height of your ceiling, ensuring that you have left a minimum of 100mm clearance between the new ceiling and the structure it is suspended from. If you are installing recessed lights, additional clearance of 200 to 300mm will be needed. The first stage of installation is to fit the perimeter trim. This is a line of trim fixed on the walls around the edge of the room which the tiles rest on. Mark a line around the room indicating the height at which the perimeter trim will be fixed. This can be done with pencil or a laser. Remember that the edge of the trim which fixes to the wall is 32mm deep. Position the trim to your level line, ensuring that you keep it as square as possible. Fasten the trim to the wall at all points using masonry nails or drywall screws, for example, depending on the wall construction. When you come to the corners, overlap them using your tin snips to cut the bottom overlapping trim at an angle to give a mitered finish. Once the perimeter trim is successfully installed, you can start on your main runner fixing points. The type of fixing will be determined by the ceiling structure. You will use brackets for timber beams, purlin clips for steel purlins, or wire hangers for concrete ceilings. In this example, we are installing on a timber beam structure, so we will use brackets. Fixing points go at 1200mm intervals on main runners only, as per the diagram you created earlier. Brackets are secured with screws. Use a laser level or string line from perimeter trim to perimeter trim across the room to mark the finished ceiling height. This will help position the suspension wires at the correct length. Straighten, cut, and form the required quantity of wires. To straighten the wire, attach it to a static object, reel out the wire to a suitable length, then cut this section of wire from the rest of the reel. Attach the wire to a drill. Pull the wire tight and rotate the drill clockwise until the wire is straight. You may need to reverse the drill counterclockwise a few revolutions in order to take out the tension in the wire. You should be left with a long, straight section of wire. Cut your long section of wire into suitable lengths, given the distance it needs to cover, and the amount required for fixings at each end. Measure how long the wire has to be cut based on the height of ceiling you require and the drop from the original structure to which you are fixing. Leave 300 mm to allow for fastening. The wire will need to be kinked at both ends so that it hooks into the fixings above and into the eyes on the main runners. Hook the wires into their fixings and ensure they line up with the required level for your main runner fixings as marked by your laser or string line. Once all the wires are in place, you can begin installing your main runners. Measure and mark out the position of each main runner along the perimeter trim. Begin with your first main runner, which is the one closest to the perimeter. The clip on the end of the main runner will have to be cut off so that it will rest flush to the wall and on the perimeter trim. Don't forget to use the appropriate health and safety equipment for your site, as specified in our planning video. When cutting main runners, for example, gloves and protective glasses are particularly important. Starting from the wall edge, work outwardly, hooking the main runner onto the fixing wires and curling the wire back on itself for a secure fixing. Install the main runners so that they are all level with the perimeter trim already mounted. If the room you're installing is shorter than 3.6 meters, cut the main runner to size. If your room is longer than 3.6 meters, the main runners can be joined. Ensure that the slot for the first cross tee is in line with the location of the cross tee as per your drawing. Once the first main runner is complete, use any offcuts to start the second row. This will stagger the expansion points, creating a stronger ceiling. But remember to ensure there are slots for cross tees in the correct positions. Once all main runners are installed, you can fit the 1200 cross tees. The location of the cross tees will be determined by the tile size you are using. The 1200 cross tees go into slots on the main runners, and the 600 cross tees go into slots on the 1200 tees, thus forming tile size squares. Before cutting and fixing the perimeter cross tees, drop a few full tiles into the grid to ensure the grid remains square. Perimeter cross tees are cut to size and rest on the wall angle. Once the grid is in place, the tiles can be put in. Angle the tiles up through the grid and gently lower the tiles into place. If you have a pattern tile, make sure the tile is lined correctly. It is a good idea to use gloves when handling the tiles. Cut the tiles for the perimeter rips using a Stanley knife. Measure the size of the cuts needed and mark the cut on the tile with a pencil. Score the front of the tile, cut, then separate the cut pieces of the tile by hand. Once all the tiles are in place, your ceiling is complete. For more information on planning and installing a suspended ceiling, call us now or visit our website ceilingtilesuk.co.uk. Thanks for watching.